All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and a few sisters out there. Also, this is like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. It's going to be a quick show through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. I took a photo of this. One of the brothers out there in the Jersey camp had posted this up. And, it says Russia may halt wheat, corn, rye, barley exports from March 15. Now, this whole thing is very important, period. Because the simple fact is, that's the majority of everything that's being made, period. Even for poor people, okay? And everybody's going to be affected by it. But what's also significant about that is the timing. And that timing is March 15th, which March 15th is it's a significant time for these elite and their celebration of that particular day, because it goes back to what I believe is IDES of March, which goes back to Aries, which goes back to his later name was turned to Mars, which is also the god of war. But this is another day. There's another time that's being so significant about that. Yes, my brothers and sisters, this is the time, because that night we will be doing the Passover. All right? Showing you that the Lord is, not only is he hearing our prayers, he has heard our prayers, and he's delivering and with style. Now, past couple of days, well, was it yesterday? Today's March 14th, I believe. So, yesterday, Iran shoots missiles at Iraq, the top of the Ukraine thing, and now this. Now, if Russia decides to do that, all hell will break loose. You talking about food prices going up? All prices going to skyrocket, because this is the perfect opportunity for them to not only make Putin the villain, but also to starve and kill all people as possible. Because that's what the elites want. This is exactly what they wanted. See, when inflation was taking place, it was bumping up slowly, Everything was going up slowly. But this whole war with Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine, has given them the opportunity, the U.S., ESA, pretty much the elites, the opportunity to skyrocket prices. Now people's going to understand why we've been through the spirit. How about Shai? From the apostles on down, be talking about hyperinflation. Now people's going to see that their dollar's not worth nothing. Because by the time you go outside, if you drive, you go outside, you spending half of your check on just getting to work, where you probably was spending a quarter of your check. All right? So that's another proof that we are in the last days, man. So they find an opportunity to skyrocket prices in gas and blame Russia. Now, Russia's saying, look, we ain't going to give you no wheat, corn, rye, barley, all the things, which wheat you could use for bread, corn, you could use corn for innumerable things, rye, bread, and barley bread. So, you see what's going on? There ain't going to be no bread. All right? And that night, March 15th, will be the Passover, which the Lord told us to not to put no leaven in the dough, because we had to flee. So we're going to have to get used to not eating things with yeast in it, okay? So there's a couple of scriptures that I looked up through the spirit, and it was all here. Genesis. The key word is dearth, all right? which when you read about Genesis 41st chapter, it tells you the time of plenty and the time of what? Dearth. And America's been in the plenty for a long period of time. So now it's time for that dearth. It says Genesis 41 and 54. The 7 years of dearth begin to come, according to as Joseph has said, and the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt it was bread. Because why did it say bread? Why, out of all things? Because a lot of wheat, barley, okay, these things that's what bread is made out of. Okay, rye. Okay, you could have other things with bread. You could put spelt. You could cassava. You have other things, but there's the majority of things. So you look up the Hebrew word for dearth is ra'ab. Wow, which makes sense. Famine. All right, hunger. So the Lord is just the same way He has brought famine and hunger in the 7 years in Egypt, because that's how Egypt got strong, because Joseph interpreted the dream that was sent unto Pharaoh, and he got put in a position. So Joseph put Egypt on the map because they had everything, and the key thing was bread. All right, because everybody eats bread. Now I'm gonna jump Acts 11 and 21. It says 28. Sorry. Let me get the. I started. You know what? I'm gonna start at 26. And when he had found him, he had brought him into Antioch, and it came to pass that one whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people, and the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch, which is the real word of that is Mashiach, anointed. All right, the anointed ones was called first in Antioch, meaning that's what they called them. That's the name that they gave them. So the followers of Yahushua were the anointed ones. Okay, and it says, in these days came prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch, and stood up one of them named Agabus. I hope I'm saying that right. Agabus, and and certified by the Spirit that he should be. I said that there should be a great dearth throughout all the world, which come to pass in the days of Claudius. So you look up the word dearth in the Greek, the scarcity of harvest, famine. And what did the WHO said? What during the time of the lockdown, like great famines is coming. So the natural ways of making things is a famine now. Also, the ones that they have in store in the storehouses. So the Lord has preparing a ultimate meal, which is no meal for these people, real soon, and it's all controlled. Okay, it's all controlled. All this what they're doing is they starving the people. They causing this famine to take place. All right. So soon people is gonna go to stores and they're not gonna get the stuff that they're familiar with. Okay, if you have some sort of allergy, you ain't gonna get the stuff that you're familiar with. It's gonna cost you more. Matter of fact, 2nd Ezra 6 and 22, it says, suddenly should the sown places appear unsown. And what's those sown places? The sown places is where they keep all the goods. All right, all the places where they keep all the goods stored up ain't gonna come in like they used to, because they're about to cut off the rivers of food to the masses. And this whole war with Ukraine is all strategic, because Ukraine, they have A lot of in Ukraine is wheat. Okay, so there goes your bread. There goes wheat bread, and all the other things that's associated with wheat. It says the full the full storehouses shall be suddenly found empty. So we in that time, man, which is going to lead to this particular. It's going to say, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. It says, at that time shall friends fight one against another, like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. Because once again, why are they going to? Why is your neighbor, just the guy that you cool with down the block, or some women are their best friends down the block? Why are they gonna turn against one another? Because the lack of food, the lack of bread. All right, the dearth that's coming, man, and it's real. Everything that the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshai has been saying all these years is real. All right, this is what the Lord been saying was gonna happen. Matter of fact, hold on, yeah, the Lord been saying these things was gonna happen. Second Ezra 15. I just want to go to the point. Well, actually, we are about to live in the time of Second Ezra. We're about to live in the time of Second Ezra 15, 16. Jacob's trouble. All right? Second Ezra 15, 16. 15. I want to go to the point. 18. The beginning of sorrows. All right? Great mournings. Because why? People by the masses are going to die. Either they're going to die from the juice. They're going to die because they're going to be killed. Or they're going to die through famine. It says the beginning of famine and great death. All right. It says the beginning of wars, because why? People are going to fight one another to eat. People are going to eat one another. People are going to be forced to eat one another. All right. And God forbid if you're one of those people that has everything in your household and you start cooking and the Lord's not with you, and your neighbors smell your joint, you know what they're going to end up doing? They're going to break into your house and take your shit. Because there ain't going to be no food the way it's coming in. Everything's going to be unaccessible. All right? It says, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, which means eve meaning time, ill meaning bad. So these are the beginning of bad times. All right? What shall I do in these evils? When these evils come. This is Ezra saying, when all these things are happening, what shall he do? And the answer to that, which we all have the answer now, is to rely on Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. The Lord said his servants shall eat. His servants shall eat. All right? His servants shall eat. They have nothing to worry about. This is all punishment. Matter of fact, read on, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And this is the payment, the payback, all right, which all these people are not going to consider. These are the reasons for all the wicked shit that you have done and getting away with scot-free and not paying for it. This is your reward, okay? This is going to be your reward. So famine is going to be on a great high level real soon. Matter of fact, let me just end it off on this. Isaiah 9 and 18, right? Isaiah 9 and 20. As a matter of fact, 19. Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is a land darkened, and the people shall be as fuel of the fire. So the people, every single individual person that's going to be in America, that's not going to be delivered from destruction, you're going to be added as fuel to the fire. The fire is going to engulf the people, and by the fire eating up the people is going to even make it rage and more furious. Okay, let's think about all the things that's in these people today, all the toxins that's in them. All right, all the nasty shit that's in you. You're gonna be made in part of the elements. Everything that's part of the elements is gonna be found in men. All right. It says, "No man shall spare his brother," and this is before that fire comes. No man's gonna spare his brother. It says, "He shall snatch on the right hand, and be hungry, shall eat on the left hand, and they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm." So cannibalism is gonna be on an all-time high because there ain't gonna be no food. All right, there ain't gonna be no food. You're gonna pay. Now people saying like they're paying an extra bill when it comes to gas, but just imagine you gotta pay all that money for gas, getting paid the same payment, but it's like you getting paid less than minimum wage because inflation. All right, hyperinflation. So when the cost of bread goes from what a good bread, a decent bread, what it'd be like maybe $3.99, and that jumps to like $13.99. You're gonna look at, I'm like, what the hell? Because if Russia closes that faucet of wheat, rye, barley, because barley also, Slovakia also was used for barley, like the brother had said in the chat. Liquor, all right? A lot of liquor is made from barley. So even the good spirits, okay, because that's why he calls strong drink. Even the spirits is going to be highly expensive. So people are going to lose it. They're going to take by any means necessary. And when they find out their own government is the one that's storing up food and eating for themselves, they're going to even bug out even more. But before all that, people are going to kill one another. All right. Matter of fact, let me go back to this one scripture because there's one particular part that I got to jump. I'm going to jump down. Well, actually, the whole chapter is bad. It says, verse 21, 2 Ezra 16:21, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth," which we passed that stage. Things are no longer cheap, that they think they shall think themselves to be in a good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. All right? Lack of food, lack of bread. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So this is what the Lord is about to plan to do to America. The land of milk and honey, the land of plentiful, is about to have nothing. And it's just not America. It's going to be all EU nations. Everybody's going to be starving. And who's going to benefit from this starvation? Esau. You have Bill Gates that bought up all these lands in America, these farmlands. What he's doing that for? Because that's exactly what they know. So they're going to feed people GMO stuff and even poison them more. So all hell's about to break loose. So with that being said, shalom to the elect, the nation of Israel. Shalom.